Ah, there we go. We are. Let's go live. I hear myself. Okay. Welcome to a new episode of The Usual Saints. I'm Mike D here with what's your name?
Jeremy.
All right. I'll learn it eventually once I get a better bearing on things. Tonight we have an interview with Harley Hellsing, a burlesque dancer, model, cosplayer, someone I met from my time in Orlando. So that should be exciting. That'll be coming up shortly. But in the interim, Jeremy and I will do a short A block to entertain the masses.
Pretentious when you say A block.
Oh, I apologize. The part of the show before the middle, the beginning of the show, is that better?
Yeah. Segment. We'll talk for a little while.
The first segment.
You just talk like a normal human instead of trying to sound professional.
Why am I so pretentious? Like, I think what I'm saying is proper and everything like that, but no, you're saying it's not. You don't like it.
I wouldn't say that's part of the popular vernaculars. How's that sound?
Oh, vernacular. I don't know that word.
Yeah,
all right. So,
I assume.
Hope you have some questions for me. You're just going to leave me blowing in the wind here like all the other interviews?
I think I've held my own in each of them. Maybe. Maybe not George.
George is great. He was a storyteller. That was great.
I didn't have a lot of questions for him though.
Dr. George Hardy, come on, where's my invite?
Or the other one.
Heather's home.
Or the one with the great personality. Ramona.
Was she a doctor? No, she was Ramanda Brockett, RDMT, registered dance movement therapist.
Yeah.
So you put the Olympics on there. Again, I don't care about the Olympics. Do you have anything in particular you want to talk about? I mean, besides Simone Biles dropping out and all the controversy that's caused, which is ridiculous, but she's not feeling like she can compete. Go ahead and drop out. Why would you scorn someone saying that she shouldn't have dropped out because of her mental health? I saw a great point from someone. If she would have broke her leg, would someone be giving her the same shit? No. So
yeah, I got no problem with her dropping out. You don't want to do it, you can't do it, you can't do it. I can't speak to her mental health.
What do you think about the two, I forget what countries the guys were from, but the two guys who were going to fight the Israeli, what was it, a kickboxer or karate guy or fencer, and they dropped out because they didn't want to match up against an Israeli because of the Palestine situation?
I mean,
I'm giving you all these deep thought shit. You can't even respond.
I hadn't heard about that one. I know there's been incidents in the past where, especially Iran has incidents in the past where they've refused to compete against Israel. And I mean, if they dropped out because they refused to compete against a black person, people would be pissed as hell. So why is this okay?
Yeah, I want my food, Heather. Jeez.
That's not very professional.
I'm looking for the Israel thing up in here, but I can't find it.
You know what I mean? You're basing it off of somebody's religion.
Yeah, but it's a protest against what's going on in the, what do they call it? What's the politically correct term? The Palestinian lived in places where the Israel government is trying to kick them out of. I know it's not the correct politically correct term, but I don't know. Oh, here's Harley. Yep.
Oh wow.
Oh, look, thanks. Look at this. I got served my dinner right here. She's getting my drink. It's great.
Throughout the whole interview, is that how this is gonna work?
I mean, I thought I was gonna get it beforehand, but that's fine.
Not really. It's kind of rude. Just saying.
I'll mute myself.
Couldn't have picked up a burger on the way to orientation. I mean, it's kind of bullshit.
I didn't have time, Jeremy. I had to go to a roach infested house and things like that. So All right, let's see here. I want to change your name on Zoom as your real name. All right. So, yeah, I mean, Olympics boring. I know that there's a swimmer that's faster than Michael Phelps, something like that. But that's all I know. I don't really give a shit, like I've stated before. But hey, if you're watching the Olympics and get some kind of joy out of it, more power to you. All right. So let's going to take a quick break. We'll talk more about other shit in our C block, Jeremy, which is what comes after the B block, which is what comes after the A block. But in the meantime,
For those who aren't pretentious assholes, he means after the interview.
Actually, she's still getting ready because she got to change her name to the proper name. So we could probably cover one more thing before while I'm eating, so I can annoy you. What's on the topic list that you want to cover, Jeremy?
Well, we should probably cover the deaths, just because that's gonna happen.
What? I'm sorry, I was chewing. What?
Such a child.
What were you saying? We should do what?
The deaths.
Oh, I mean, Ron Papil died. I saw his. You put Papelli. I put it in. I saw it in the news. But I just thought it was another product of his that came out. That guy was a big part of my childhood because I watched a lot of infomercials. But how many of his products do you remember being in your household?
I don't think my parents bought his stuff. We didn't really get a lot of infomercial stuff in our house. I remember seeing the infomercials, but I don't remember having any of the stuff. I was looking to see. I didn't realize that some of the stuff that he hawked was his own product. He was an inventor as well. And then spent 30 years as something else that surprised me. He was like a high-ranking person in a university or something. Just surprised me. I kind of, I don't know, he's kind of a joke on TV, but you talking to me? You're not coming through right now.
That's right. I muted myself so you wouldn't have to hear my eating. I apologize. I said, was it Trump University that he joined?
I don't think so. It's not the My Pillow guy. That's a different guy.
What's his name? Mike Trudell or something like that?
I have no idea. I didn't pay attention. I never wanted My Pillow in the first place, so I'm never worried about it.
The other guy that died was one of the three ZZ Top guys, Dusty Hill. He was the bassist.
Yeah. He was one of the ones with the beard. You know how I know that? His last name isn't Beard.
So the one without the beard doesn't have a beard? Or his name Beard?
Yep, I think it's Frank Beard. The only one in ZZ Top without the beard had the last name Beard.
All right. Well, there's your deaths for the week. We'll talk more about death in the C block. I want to talk about Jeremy and his mortality. But
what a surprise.
You've been listening to The Usual Saints. We'll be right back with our interview with Harley Hellsing. Stay tuned. Hello. I can't hear you yet because you're not connected yet. Did not connect to audio. She doesn't want to talk to us. That's okay. It's only a podcast. I get it.
Mike.
There you go. You can't hear me? I can't hear you.
The name
change. Yeah. I told her we'd work out the technical stuff.
Why is there a blue hand next to her name up on the participants?
She raised her hand. Mine's yellow. Why is yours blue?
I don't know. Shows a blue hand next to her name.
I don't know. Let's see. Lower hand. There you go. She can't hear. Get it worked out.
See. Okay. Or talk.
Audio problem. So have you used Zoom before, Harley? Down here where it says mute, if you hit that little arrow next to it, it has your microphone and your speaker. And it has test speaker and microphone. I always like to do that every time I go on just to make sure I can hear myself and I sound good.
Again, pretentious.
Now you're muted, but that's okay. Maybe it worked.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm not so savvy.
That's okay. We got it figured out. That's all that matters. All right. You ready to start?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So we're just going to come back. We're already streaming on YouTuber. And then we'll introduce you and I'll introduce that guy right there. We'll see if one of our other members shows up. He was all excited to show up, but Vinny, he's not here. So that's fine. All right, I'm going to record again. He's not very interesting. No, I wasn't recording yet, Jeremy. Jeez. All right. Welcome back to the Usual Saints. I'm Mike D here with Jeremy, and now we have our special guest interviewee for the week, Miss Harley Hellsing. Let's see, burlesque dancer, model, cosplayer, friend of mine. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. Not what kickball isn't. Kickball was fun. Doesn't mean I don't think I was great either, but I played. I enjoyed myself.
We were there for the drinks. Let's be real.
Of course. I mean, if there's gonna be drinking, playing kickball, it goes together. It's natural. Who's the special guest behind you?
That's my dog Kiala.
Hi, Kiala.
She's too enthralled by everything outside. She's very ADHD.
That's fine. And that's Jeremy right there. I don't know if I introduced him, but he's one of the Usual Saints crew. So just a little background. We started again our second season, which technically I'm gonna wrap up in a few weeks with episode 37, because I don't know if you're a fan of Clerks, but that's my explanation. And then and so we've had a few people on. We had what do we have, Jeremy? We had 2 cosplayers. We had Leaping Liz, we had Michaela Lee, we had a few actors. That was fun. And so I reached out. Jeremy's like, get some more interviews, because he can't get them himself. So I'm like, let me reach out to you got one. What was James Casey, retired trooper James Casey. He was good. He was fun.
He's on live TV.
He was on live PD. So I'm like, let me reach out to my friend. She's a burlesque dancer and everything, and we've never had one of those, so she can kind of fill us in on kind of what that entails, because I think a lot of people honestly don't know what burlesque dancing entails, because I really didn't until probably a decade ago when I went to a place called A Comic Shop in Orlando in Winter Park. And you been there?
The Geekies, yeah, right?
Yeah. So they had the first burlesque show I ever went to, and so it was I love it. I'm a huge fan now.
Well, thanks for getting rid of the one question I had ready, Mike. I appreciate that.
Sorry, Jeremy. Think on your feet.
Whatever.
All right. So, Harley, go ahead. How would you, for the layman, for people who don't know burlesque, how would you describe it, and how did you get into it? I guess would be my follow-up question.
It's basically just the art of the tease. So you're not showing anything. You're just enticing the audience. You're bringing them in. You're capturing. It's a lot of audience participation too. It's a lot of fun. And I got into it because actually my college program roommate, she brought me to a show. I had no idea what I was getting into. I didn't even know this was a thing in Orlando, especially. And we went to the venue before that got torn down. And it was previously Emerald City Cabaret. It was their foodie show. And as soon as I saw that first person at the stage, I was like, I want to do that. Like, please let me take my clothes off in front of a crowd. So I went up to the producer and I was like, hey, like, how do you get into this? And she was like, well, you audition. So I about shit my pants. So I was like, I've never done this. I mean, I've been in theater, but I've never done something like this, obviously. I didn't even know it existed. But I ended up doing my first burlesque performance as amateur, I think 12 with Blue Star. And I did a number to the Great Mouse Detective song, who I call the stripper mouse. But basically what she does in the Great Mouse Detective, any Disney fans out there, that's what this is. So it's just a lot of fun.
All right. And I mean, do you think you mentioned like a theater background? Do you think that helped you? Like, I don't know, did you ever have to get over any kind of anxiety or anything like that? Or were you kind of just born
yeah.
for it? Okay.
I live and breathe anxiety. But being on stage is just kind of like a different feeling. Like you don't really see the audience per se because the light hits you, so you're kind of distracted, and then you hear a lot of cheers. You hear people rooting for you. You hear them wanting to see more, so that kind of pushes you. Like, oh, okay, you want to see? Here you go. Here's my glove. Oh, you want more than just the glove? Here's the other one. Like, so it's a lot of the crowd cheering you on that kind of pushes you through and makes you feel confident and comfortable in who you are.
Right. And that's a big thing for, I think, especially burlesque, because, you know, people, anyone, men, women, any size, skinny, fat, you know, and that's not judging. It's just I'm fat. But I mean, anyone can go and do this. You know what I mean? And it speaks more towards like the art form, because you're telling a story about usually a character or a genre or something in a certain space, you know, the stage, and with the, you know, removal of the clothing, like you said, it's all about the tease. It's the art of the tease. And
exactly.
I just think, go ahead.
Sorry, my dog's going nuts. But no, it's absolutely the art of the tease, and it's a show. That's essentially what it is. You're just performing a show, and there can be other themes. There can be no theme, which is what this next show coming up is. It's just go out there, do your best, whatever you love. There's actually a lot of burlesque shows going on during Comic-Con weekend, because that's a huge draw. Like that nerdlesque factor is what it's called.
Right. I'm going to be up at MegaCon. Jeremy, you going to MegaCon?
Probably not.
I've been trying to get him to go for years. I know, it's so much fun, right?
It'll work.
I will be there all weekend.
Me too. I'll see you. I'll meet you out there. How would
you don't have to? It's okay. Don't be scared.
Listen, man, we play kickball together. That's like a bond that can't be broken. Okay.
Like this. We had mimosas at 11 o'clock at night.
For, you know, what do you have like a favorite character, or do you try to do different characters or personas on stage each time? Or is there one you go to, like, for like if you get invited to a place, and, you know, obviously you have your Instagram, and so like I'm a big, you know, Harley Quinn fan, so I see, you know, Harley's on there, and, you know, I forget what I don't know if it was a persona you did at the one I was at with some of our kickball friends. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember. I have all the pictures that pop up on my, I told you they pop up on my Apple Watch. I don't know why, but that's fine. I like it. But how do you, besides the themes that may be brought to you by the organizer, how do you determine like what character you're going to go with?
It really depends on song choice too. The theme obviously helps. Like the one that you went to was A Game, so it was just bring your best. It wasn't really a theme, but I really love the song Hooked on a Feeling, so I ended up doing a Star-Lord number because that still fits into what I like. Like I like a lot of that nerdy stuff. I like a lot of the comic books. I like a lot of Disney. So I try and go based off of that. And then if it just doesn't fall into the theme, I like a lot of Broadway, or it's more things that I'm drawn to as a performer, or even just in my everyday life, something that I can really latch onto and really connect with. That's what helps me kind of choose what I like to do.
Okay. And when was your first show? How long have you been doing it now?
3 years ago this past September, so a little over 3 years. And I just realized that because I had to build a resume for this next show. And I was like, oh, I don't even know if I have enough information for the resume. And next thing you know, we have to cut it down from 1 page or from 2 pages to 1. I'm like, when did that happen?
Awesome. And I mean, I lost my train of thought. Jeremy, you got something? I lost my question. I had a question right here that I had to follow up, and I lost it. I hate that. Oh, it's the worst.
It's like on the tip of your tongue.
No, I know what it is now. Okay, so you've been doing it 3 years. So in 3 years in that field, is that a point where people come to you for advice, or are you still kind of like starting out, or are you both? I mean, everyone help their out, like collaboration kind of thing.
Definitely a lot of bit of both. I have millions of questions before each show. My troop leader, Aurora Fable, I'm part of Midnight Fables Cabaret. And before any show, I'm like, oh God, what do I do? Or what do you think about this? What about this song? Or I have to do this. Like, what do you think? We have meetings all the time. We go out to lunch and she's like, Harley, calm down. Like, you're going to be fine. Here's what my suggestion is, but da 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 da. I also have a lot of people like in my own friend group, like, oh, well, how did you get into it? What do you do? Do you like it? How do I audition? Where do I go? So I kind of start taking people under my own wing, but I'm definitely still, I consider myself still a newbie. Like I look up to all these different people. Like I said, Aurora Fable, my troop leader. Ivy Lee Vixen is a huge one that I adore. She owns Vixen Burlesque, or Lashes Lane, who just started up Bad Witch Burlesque just this past year during COVID. It's insane, like the amount of people that you meet in the community, and they're all just so helpful. So I reach out to anybody and everybody I can, because you're going to get different perspectives from each person. And it's all about kind of, I don't want to say networking, but networking, because it's not just a communication like, oh, well, I need to do this. How do you do this? It's making a friendship and building those friendships. Two of my really good friends, actually, you might know her as Pirate Queen Roxy on Instagram. She does pole lessons and she's taught me a lot about that. And then we have Lita LaRue. She just taught me chair lessons before my last performance. So I'm just constantly learning, but I'm also building these relationships. And like I said, I constantly have questions. I'm never going to stop learning. I could be in the industry for 20, 30 years. And I'll still gonna be like, hi, what do you do?
And so something like, obviously, chair, you're talking about like performing with the chair, doing like, they do that kind of thing in like cabaret and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And so a pole, I would assume, would need to be something that was built in. It's not something you can, do you have a travel pole that you could work into your routine, or?
Me personally, I don't have one yet, but they do have them. You're going to see on like a big circle. So you have like a little mini stage on the stage, and it can be either a stagnant or a spinning pole. I don't know very much about it quite yet, because like I'm still learning. But for these lessons, I go over to her studio and she teaches me on her pole, which like this 11-foot beauty. It's
awesome. And do you find that a lot of people, either men or even transgender, come and join any of the troops you've been in, or have you seen them perform? Do they feel like, I've seen a few, come and perform in some of the troops that I've seen. Not, I don't even know it was your show or a few other shows. I think that's great. It just gets more people out there. I myself, I could never do anything like that. Shut up, Jeremy. I know why you're saying, but I'm talking about for my shyness, my anxiety. As much as I talk here and whatnot, I can't. I tried doing acting in college one time. I tried reading Ezekiel 25:17 from Pulp Fiction. I couldn't get it. I turned red. I left the class. I dropped the class. I know it was horrible. So I know I can't do that. I can speak in front of people a little bit, but I can't do any kind of performing. I just wasn't raised that way. I never felt natural with that. But do you find like a lot of people besides women coming out and just learning and wanting to learn more about the craft?
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of people in that community. And it ranges from pan, bi, transgender, male, female, it doesn't matter. And everyone is so welcoming. It's really a beautiful place to be. Like, you're not judged there. You're free to do whatever you want to do. And people are constantly cheering you on. They're always getting critiqued in like the best possible way. Like, hey, you did great here, but maybe if you did this to tweak it up, like they're always trying to help you and build you up. It's great.
Awesome. And that, I guess that leads into my next question. Have you ever encountered any sort of negativity at a show, whether you were performing or just there? Did anyone, whether it was someone in the audience or another performer, or is it pretty much all love in the community?
I have been very fortunate to not experience any negativity. I've heard some horror stories from audience members or something happening between two performers, but nothing that would spread, if that makes sense. Like, it would be just kind of drawn between those two, and then the rest of the community is basically all love. Like I said, I've been very fortunate in the fact I have not experienced any negativity whatsoever, and I've been doing it for 3 years. So,
all right. And go ahead, Jeremy.
I was going to say, so obviously different themes, different costumes, different is that all stuff that you create yourself, or do you buy? Are you able to buy costumes, or?
A little bit of both. I do a lot of my own sewing and a lot of my own rhinestoning, and rhinestones are so not cheap. But you'll see me hanging out in just like a t-shirt and jeans and gluing with E6000, 2000 rhinestones on a corset in one little section. But you can also buy things online. It's just it'll be more sufficient to make your own. This is what got me back into sewing and got me back into really creating my own cosplays. It really expresses your creativity, but it's really a calming situation too. I do a lot of crunches. Like I wait till the very last minute because it's who I am as a person. But getting it all done and feeling complete, and then seeing it hit the stage and looking back at photos like I did that, I made that, I made it my own. It's amazing.
Awesome. Do you have any character that stands out to you as, like I said, a particular favorite? Or, I mean, obviously we talked about like kind of how you started. I don't know if there's anyone that you just absolutely love, whether it's something you've done more than once or just once and you loved how that performance turned out.
I did a Harley Joker number during the virtual streaming, and I did that at Vault 5421 in their cage in their like apocalyptic bar, and that was really cool. But I think my favorite performance to date was probably my most recent performance with the Bombshell cosplay group. I just got accepted to be a member there last year, and this was the first time we had a little reunion, and it was my first time meeting a lot of the girls. And I was so nervous. I was looking at my partner. I was like, I don't even think I'm going to perform tonight. Like, I felt sick. And I had just made the costume. This is my first time debuting it. It's my first time seeing any of these people. But the energy that they showed and that support, that was by far my best performance. And I felt it. And I look back at the video, I'm like, I did it. I slayed it. I rocked it. Not to toot my own horn, because I don't normally do that.
I think I saw that. Was that the performance? Some of them were in the yard and some were in the living room at someone's house or something like that. Yeah, that was cool. I enjoyed that.
See, I was one of the last performances, and I was one of 3 burlesque performances. Others were the one that was cosplaying as Raven. She had beautiful light wings and she did a show. And then that Wonder Woman, she was on an aerial hoop. I think it's a Lyra. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. And then she did a chair number with juggling. Like, some of these performances, my jaw was to the floor. I was like, we have so many talented people in this group, which built up my nerves. I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like,
yeah, I mean, during that performance, specifically that show, like you said, people brought out a lot more talents than just, dancing or just showing off what they had. Like, I don't remember. For some reason, I want to say magician. I'm sure there wasn't a magician, but there's like there was like you said, someone with hoops and other things, and so it's like almost a talent show. Plus, you can work in characters. Plus, it's like an all-encompassing thing. It's not just one little thing. You can show off many different talents during these things.
Oh, absolutely. We have singers. We have one of the girls, Cabana, she is professionally trained opera singer. And when she hits that stage, it's like, wow. We have singers, we have dancers, we have pole dancers, we have aerialists. It's insane what some of these girls can do. And I'm looking, I'm just like heart eye emoji all over the place. Like, please take my money for all.
Did you, I know you said you had a theater background. Did you have any dancing background that helped you?
Oh, no. Okay. I am not a dancer, not even close. And it sometimes shows on stage because I kind of like second guess myself. And my partner points it out to me all the time. He's like, you would have done so well if you didn't just hesitate. I'm like, I know. But there are some girls with dancing backgrounds in that shows, but you don't need a dancing background at all to get into this. It's all about building your own confidence and having your own kind of aura and going out there showing what you can do. Like, I can't even do a split, and that's like burlesque 101. So
do you find, obviously you have like your fan page on Instagram, on Facebook. Do you find that people ever recognize you like somewhere like more like MegaCon or something from any of your performances?
At last MegaCon that I went to, not this past year, obviously,
Right. Yeah. Something happened. They canceled it. I don't know why, but that's
Super
fine.
casual. I have no clue. But the year before in 2019, I had a couple people like, "Oh my God, Harley, I recognize you. I saw this show," and I was like, "What?" And I've had people come up and ask me for pictures in my casual wear for the first day I go. I was like, "This is insane!" Like, I never thought I would get to that level, especially that early. So that was really invigorating. That kind of pushed me to keep pursuing and pushed me to go harder and do more things.
Nice. And I mean, because you're a multi hyphenate. You're not just a burlesque dancer. You are a cosplayer too. I mean, you said like you're just dressed normal first day. Do you have like MegaCon is? I mean, let's be real. By the time this episode comes out, it'll be a week and a half from MegaCon. Do you have any cosplays planned for MegaCon that you'll be wearing?
I do. My partner and I, he has a Spidey suit and a Captain America suit. So I'm gonna do a Gwen Stacy and Peggy. And then we're kind of trying to figure out that third day and if we want to do like a casual cosplay couple thing on the first day or if we just kind of want to go and walk the floor. But the last day we're trying to figure something out. We were actually scrolling through Pinterest looking through ideas because for some reason when you need to think of something or when you want an idea, just everything you love goes out the window. So
I totally get it. I wanted to cosplay for years and I have no excuse besides not having any time and not having any creative skill. But yeah, Jeremy, you're like it kind of is. Like I used to think I was creative. Jeremy's known me 27 years. I mean, you got anything to say?
The skill part, I was gonna put it there for you, just so you know.
Well, I mean, I do have a costume that I will be wearing. I have my Michael Myers costume I'll be wearing from Halloween.
Fun. That's creative.
It's all right.
That's the one with the mask.
Get a little
right?
bit of blood on there. You'll be great.
I'll have fun. Some people will find it entertaining. I wore it for Halloween a few years ago, probably 2019 before COVID, and I scared the shit out of a bunch of kids walking around. What's that?
It was me.
What?
We were at the Halloween party. And you had
Really?
Yeah, and you pretend to slit my throat because that was when I first started getting SFX makeup. So I was like the dead prom queen.
See, I don't remember anything, so I apologize. I don't remember high school. Like I know I went with this guy, but I think he had more hair. But it was a while.
Wow.
Jeremy, I'm gonna hit on you a little bit. There you go. You got that. How would so aside from burlesque, which I think we've covered, cosplay, like if you had any tips on, I mean, for me, but for anyone in general about how to get into it, like I said, I can't. So, I mean, yeah, I could probably learn, but do I have the patience or time, or can my ADHD handle it? Probably not, without Ritalin or Adderall or something. So, I mean, what tips would you have for someone like that? Like me, I went out and bought it on a a website, probably Amazon or whatever website I found the mask at. I got a nice jumpsuit that covers up. I got that fake knife, and I got my little speaker that I'm copying from someone else at MegaCon. So if you ever hear this MegaCon guy that walks around with the Halloween song playing, I'm sorry, but I am stealing your thing. But do you have any tips for anyone that wants to get kind of into making a costume? I mean, I don't know if you know BioShock, but I would love to be like a big daddy from BioShock, but my mind can never figure out how I could ever do that. You know what I mean?
Honestly, the way you're doing it is the best way. Like start off simple, get like the small little things, find out something you love that you can do, kind of casually walk the floor, get tips from other cosplayers there because they have so many different ways. And I'm sure you've seen the cosplay costume fixers that run around. Ask them like, hey, how do you do this kind of stitch, or how would you keep this together? Me personally, I learned a lot through YouTube. I type in DIY Disney costumes and a bunch of stuff pops up and I just kind of follow there. Like even when I do get patterns from Joann's Fabrics, I still don't know what it's saying half the time. I'm looking at it, I'm like, base the fabric, what? So I just kind of wing it. And you can ask my mom, she's been sitting in the living room watching me sew, and she's like, what step are you on now? I'm like, I don't know anymore.
It's awesome.
So how are your parents with are they good with the burlesque and all that?
Oh yeah, they're very, very supportive. They've always taught me to grow up and be who I want to be and do what I want to do. They're not coming to my shows, but they're supportive.
The next question, yeah, have they come along?
Yeah, like me and my dad share an Amazon Prime account. I'm like, hey dad, just so you know, I have a show coming up. He's like, yeah, I figured. Sometimes he'll pitch in and buy me a couple of rhinestones. My mom helped me buy my first sewing machine. So they're very supportive. I'm very fortunate in that aspect.
That's awesome.
Awesome. That is awesome. Do you because obviously, you've mentioned it a few times, you're kind of into Disney, I would say would be a thing I could say, you enjoy it. Are there any particular characters from Disney besides Great Mouse Detective was Disney, right? Yeah, that's 80s,
Yeah.
87, something like that. Any particular characters you want to dress up from Disney universe?
I so badly want to do a power line number. Like, I am itching to do a power line from a Goofy movie. There's been a couple others here and there that pop up. Like, I have an Elsa number lined up whenever that comes out. I have a Little Mermaid one, but I am really, really wanting to do power line. I'm sure,
Nice.
I don't know if you know a Goofy movie very well, but Eye to Eye is one of my favorite songs. So I would love to do that.
I'm 41, so I was a teenager when that came out, so I probably thought I was too cool for it. I know of the movie. What's his son's name? Max, right? I got that right? Thank you. Yes. I know some trivia, so I got the kid's name right, but is Goofy a dog? Yes or no? Oh, see, that's trivia no one knows.
Listen, he's a person.
He's a person with feelings.
Yes.
Yeah, that's, and also I want to talk about, because it says on your profile, obviously, that you're multi-hyphenate model. Do you do a lot of modeling? And what kind of modeling do you do?
I have been modeling since I was 12. I started off when I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, just like a small little company. I got poached at a movie theater going into see Sex and the City 2 with my mom. So, and then I went in, I did my awkward little poses, and then I kind of learned from there, and I started teaching and doing runway. And I've done all kinds of things with that. I've kind of poached out my own photographers, and there's a bunch here in Orlando, some of which I actually met at Comic-Con or MegaCon. Like Tristan Dundon Photography, he's shot me a couple times. There's MC Illusion Photography. He did my Harley shooting. They turned out beautiful. It's a lot of networking, but through that, I do a lot of like photographer notes. Like they're like, hey, move your chin upwards a little bit, or push your butt out a little bit, arch your back. Like they kind of guide you through the shoot. Yeah. Basically, you're like, oh, the more uncomfortable you are and the more awkward you feel, the better the shot's gonna look. Guaranteed.
That's awesome. Do you think that, well, I was going to say, do you think that people need to be in Orlando to do? I think it depends on what aspect of things you want to do. If there's a burlesque troupe in a smaller town, then it doesn't matter. Cosplaying obviously can be done anywhere. Modeling, that's what I wanted to talk about. So you said you were poached by someone, whatever. So I was on the subway in New York City with my daughter, probably about 6 years ago. And some random woman came up and handed her a card. And my daughter was like, she didn't know what to do. We never followed through with it. My daughter's way, I think, too shy for that. But she had no interest in that. I don't know. I never know if it's real or not. Did you have any apprehension to doing that?
Yes, and honestly, he charged a lot of money. He was later come to find very predatorial, but it also kickstarted where I was going. So I got out of it before anything, and now he's just where he needs to be. So it's more, I apologize.
It's fine. We're all about animals on the show. Hi, puppy.
Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
But he really helped me kind of kickstart my career, because I was in there with one of my really good friends from high school at the time. Well, we started off friends in middle school, went through high school, and we kind of taught each other a lot. And then when we broke free from that, it was more along the lines of what we learned and what we picked up on to figure out who to talk to and who's approachable and who is trustworthy. Like I found out that if I ask somebody like, hey, can my partner come to the shoot with me, especially if it's a lingerie or a boudoir shoot of any kind of sort to help promote my burlesque page, and they say no, I'm not going to take their business. And that actually happens quite frequently. So you have to be really careful on who you pick and choose and who you trust. That's a huge red flag. And there's plenty of others out there. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but it really can be for anybody. I wouldn't say like go on Craigslist or anything, But there's a bunch of Facebook groups out there. There's a bunch of people that are looking to do like shot for shot, or hey, I'll take your picture if I can use it in my portfolio too. So a lot of people are willing to help others out.
Okay. And do you, I don't know the answer to this, that's why I'm asking it. Do you have a print store or anything like a lot of like the cosplayers and whatnot do? I don't know if that's something you want to start up or if you have one already.
I don't even know what that is, to be very honest.
Like selling prints of your different cosplays or models or anything, so people can hang them on their walls or have digital prints for whatever reason.
See the wall behind him of pictures.
Well, no, that's all artwork. I mean, I guess I can move my webcam. This is my like cosplayers. I got, Danica. Rocco.
Yeah. I would love to do something like that. It's just a matter of if people would want to buy them. That's a different story. But I would absolutely love to get started on something like that. That'd be really cool.
I mean, I think, I obviously I keep saying obviously, I am not I'm not someone who sells their prints online or anything, but I mean, I imagine maybe get it. Yeah, thanks, Jeremy. I can always count on Jeremy for the visual response, but Jeremy, you do realize this is an audio podcast. Maybe say something funny.
Nobody needs to hear from me. Moving on. By the way, obviously no one's paying you for a print of anything. Just there
you go. See, that's all I needed to hear. That's great. This is how this podcast goes all the time. I can't imagine the startup cost is so much once you get those high quality images, but then you have to print them out, but you don't have to print them out until you sell them online. That's what I find a lot of the people do, unless they're people who sell a ton of prints and then they can print out 100 and say that maybe a limited edition. That's all they have. But I think it'd be, in my opinion, like a great extra income, if you're already doing the modeling or getting the pictures taken by these photographers shot for shot or whatever, as long as you have permission to sell them, they're yours. Go ahead, man, make that money.
And now you put a really good idea in my head. It's just a matter of executing that idea.
Do you ever see your
MegaCon? Hey, do you do prints? How do you do that? How'd you get started?
Networking. It's all the networking. You get it.
Do you ever see yourself moving to a larger city, or are you too enamored with Orlando and its, particular vibe of, middle of Florida, theme parks, conventions, unique community? I mean, Orlando does have a really, unique is the best word to say about the way it is, because you won't find that community in any other city, and that's just my experience from what?
Magic Kingdom, Disney World.
Yeah, I didn't mean Disney. I meant fucking like I meant the entire community itself.
It really is a strong community, and we really came together, especially when Pulse happened. Like, you can see that it's a strong community. I thought about moving, but I think I'll always end up coming back here because this has been my home. I'm born and raised in Philadelphia. I went from Philly to Jersey for a while. I lived in North Carolina for a while. I lived in China for a few months. So I've been around. If anywhere, I probably want to move to like Portland or something for like a year and a half, kind of get that kind of vibe. But I think I'll always end up coming back to Florida. I love it too much.
So if I ask how you ended up in China?
So my dad used to play professional basketball. And he traveled a lot. So he was in China for 6 months, and I went to go see him for 3 of those 6. I was 8 years old, so I really don't remember it, but I was there. There's pictures.
He was on the Sixers, so you won't know his name. No, I'm just playing.
Wow.
I'm a Magic fan. I got nothing to say. You know what I mean?
Say it out loud.
It was a joke, when you brought up Philly, I had to say it, being the Steelers fan and everything.
Allen Iverson, right? Yeah, yeah, you're right there. Okay.
All right. So what shows do you have coming up? I know you have something on August 5th, and you mentioned something possibly. I know you're hanging out at MegaCon. I don't know if you have any shows that weekend, but what do you have coming up where people could see you perform? And I don't know if you are revealing what you're performing as or what the themes are.
Right now, the only show I have lined up for sure is the August 5th show, and that's going to be Blue Stars Amateur Burlesque. I think it's 15, if I'm not mistaken, 15 or 16. But this is her first one back since COVID. It's going to be at Haos on Church. It's at 9 o'clock. Ticket links are in my bio at Harley Hellsing on Instagram. It's a lot of fun. I've done several of her amateur shows. It's basically a competition to get into her troupe as well. And you see a lot of crazy, crazy talented people, including some of her own performers that perform with her. That was very redundant. I apologize.
Have you heard me talk? It's okay. Most of this podcast is redundant, so that's fine.
So you just get to see a lot of extraordinary talent. And at this point, I go for the competition, pray that I get in. But even if I don't, just the experience and the fun is insane. Because a lot of people come out to her show. She's one of the like head organizers of Orlando. I feel like everyone knows who Blue Star is.
And I guess that brings up an interesting thing, because like you said, everyone knows who she is. Have you had an experience, you don't have to name names or anything, have you had an experience dancing for a particular troupe or a troupe leader or something, and it was just like I know you said you haven't had any negative experiences. Maybe it wasn't negative, but maybe it just wasn't your scene. Like maybe, you know, if I go work at a place and I don't like my boss, I'm not going to work there long. So I don't know. Like I said, you don't have to name names or anything unless you want to. I don't care. But has anything like that ever happened? Or, I mean, I think it goes back to the community has been so amazing and you go to it. Again, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Oh, no, that's pretty much what I said. And I haven't had any negative experience, especially in any kind of group where y'all kind of figure things out together. I do, like I said, I do a lot of like the amateur kind of pop up here and there, but my home troupe for Midnight Fables, I love my troupe leader dearly. Aurora Fable is the kindest soul. I wouldn't even say that I had like a negative or weird experience, but I was a guest performer for the Glam Vamps. They're a New York-based troupe, but it was during the whole virtual thing. It was my first virtual show, so I didn't know what was going on, and they didn't really know how to do it either. We did it through Patreon. It was kind of still all new. We didn't know how to go about it, so and that was going to be, I guess, the weirdest experience, but it was still fun and it was still an experience nonetheless. Like I wouldn't say it was bad or negative. Do you mind?
Is that your
Sorry.
dog again? Is that your mother or your dog that you just had to say, do your mind too?
Oh, my dog. She's a sassy little bitch, but I love her.
What we did ask Sleeping Liz, Jeremy, who I forget who did. I think maybe Vince or Vinny or something. Have you ever had any, I don't want to out anyone as a creeper, but have you ever had anyone approach you in a creepy way or maybe too attached or anything like that? Or
Mike for this podcast. Let's get that
out. There's been a couple of people, but they get shot down pretty quickly, and if it's been told it's too far, they stop. You obviously have people outside of the studio or outside of the audience. Like there's been times where I go straight to pump gas after a show and I'm still in thigh highs and shorts and a t-shirt, but the thigh highs, I'm like, oh, well, let me get your number. Let me do this. Let me pay for your gas. I'm like, please leave me alone. But as far as like audience members or anybody like approaching me inappropriately, if they get the vibe of like, I'm not interested, they're 99.9% of the time respectful in my experience.
That's good.
You mentioned a few different troops and whatnot. Is there any issues with being a member of multiple troops? Are they
no, as long as you know that like your home troop is going to be your main troop. So if there's two shows on the same day, which there's not a whole lot of that I've seen. There's been like back-to-back shows, but not on the same day, same time kind of thing. As long as you know that where your home is and what got you started, everyone seems pretty cool with it. Like I know people that are in like 5 different troops. I'm like, I don't know how I can juggle that because I'm like struggling.
So how often do you perform?
Before everything, it was once a month. And then during COVID with the whole virtual, it was like once every 3-ish months. And now it's getting picked back up again. This is actually my first live show in front of an audience other than the Bombshells, which was just like a reunion for us. So this is going to be like the first real deal one that I haven't done since everything, which I'm kind of nervous about.
You'll be fine. I saw you perform. You were great. It'll be all great.
That performance you saw was actually my very first performance with that troupe and my very second performance because my first one was with the amateur.
Man,
you
it's
saw
been
my
that
first
long.
one. Yes, it's been that
Ah.
long.
I guess it was January 2019. I guess that was that long ago. Jesus. Oh my gosh. Time flies when you're having COVID.
Oh my God.
All right. Big question. I got all these graphic novels behind me. Are you into graphic novels and comics?
Oh yeah.
What's your are you a Marvel, a DC, Image? Do you have any preference?
No preference, just whatever floats my boat at the time.
Okay. I'm more into like the creator based guys. But and I have on my wall behind me. Oh, I like showing off my stuff. Have you ever been to a suicide burlesque show?
I have not, but
Blackheart
I want
burlesque.
to go so bad. I want to so bad.
Mike?
Oh no.
Oh,
You're
did he pull his-
frozen.
did he screw his computer up? Oh, jeez.
Oh no.
Oh, wait. Now he's okay.
Sorry. On my Mac. No, I didn't do anything. I had an error message on my Mac pop up, and it just killed it. So, whatever. I'll just please ask the host, Jeremy, recorder. Give me permission to record.
Shows you the host still.
Oh, I don't know what to do here.
It's not
leave.
me. I got nothing.
Hang on. Now I have to edit. That's fine. Assign a new host. Jeremy, there you go.
Now you're the host still. Oh, what the hell? Where'd he go?
Hello.
There you go. Now you're back as the host.
Technical issues. Sorry, guys. I have a MacBook, what do I have? A Mac Mini, and I assumed it would be good, but crap happens. All right. So where were we? Oh, we were talking about Suicide Blackheart Burlesque. I love that show. Whenever it comes into town, I go. I get to see I'm a fan of Suicide Girls, from Instagram and their website and everything. So it's always cool to go see them. I don't get to as many other burlesque shows. The only reason I even know about them is because I see them. I get an email from them. So I need to get more. I know yours is coming up on next week when I'm in New York, though. But so I can't go to yours, but I would love to. So do you have, with the amateur-ish nature of it, is there like, how does that work? Like, because you said someone's basically trying out to get in. Is there like only one spot, or are there multiple spots depending on whatever happens?
It depends on what she sees and who she sees it in. She runs it, so I don't know how many spots she has at the time. It could be one spot, it could be 5 spots. I know there was one show we went to, and she chose like 3 or 4 different people because they just blew her mind, and reasonably so. They were insanely good. So I think it's just up to her discretion on who does and who doesn't make it, I guess. But it's like a never-ending tryout kind of thing. Like, you're not limited, like, oh, you can only try out 4 times, or you can only try out 3 times. It's however many times you want to.
All right.
Is
And
this something you get paid for, or?
The amateur, no. Actually, all the tips get donated to the Barber Fund, which is one of her fundraisers to help people battling cancer.
Very cool.
It all goes to a good cause. We don't collect any of that money.
So nothing offsetting the rhinestone cost, huh?
No, not that one.
that's why we keep Jeremy around, for those one-liners. That's what everyone says, the zingers. He's good. He throws them in there every now and then. All right. Let's see. So what for your looks? Jeremy, we'll talk about that in the C block.
Right.
I know how you love me to say C block. You and your looks. All right. All right, Harley, what do we have to promote for you? Where do you want people to go to see what you have, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, anything like that? And we're going to obviously promote the show, but tell people where they can find you.
I'm most active on Instagram. It is at Harley Hellsing. It's Hellsing with 2 L's. I have the same handle on Twitter. I have the same handle on TikTok. It's very, very easy to find me. But
and I did want to ask that. What made it, besides the obviously hell and sing, because sing. But besides, Van Helsing from Dracula, what made you add the extra L? Just to make it different, or was there another Harley with one L?
There was not another Harley with one L. It's just to make it a little bit more unique.
Awesome.
How'd
And
you pick the name?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
It took a lot. Because in finding your stage name, you really need to kind of delve deep into who you are and what you want your character to be and how you want yourself portrayed on stage. And I have been a full emo scene kid since I can remember. So I like that dark punk kind of stuff, and I wanted my persona to be more like that. So I can't go with like a fun cutesy name. Like there's this girl, Adora Bell, and she really is adorable. And she does more of that classic burlesque style. I'm not like that, so I couldn't go for something along those lines. And I really like the double H. I knew I loved Harley. Like, she's just great, psycho, smart. Who doesn't love that? And then I love Van Helsing and like that whole kind of series and the monster hunting and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, ooh, but it took me, I remember being at one of the bars I was working at, and it was super slow. I had a long piece of receipt paper and I was making name combinations, and it was at least 45 names before I finally matched the two together.
All right. And that's what I was going to, which Harley is your favorite? Do you like classic Harley? Do you like first Suicide Squad Harley? I have a few different, they're hard to see. I have the one from Birds of Prey. Which one do you like?
I like Arkham Asylum Harley. She's my favorite to cosplay for sure.
Yes. Arkham Asylum is a great game. I highly recommend it. All right.
But
Tell people one more time where the show is. We're going to put it up with the podcast and on the social media, but tell them where the show is so they can see you next week, August 5th at 9 p.m.
Yes, it's at House on Church, and I have the flyer posted on my Instagram handle, and so is the ticket link.
All right, I'm gonna have to share that. Jeremy, we have over 1,000 followers on Instagram now. I don't know how many are real. They seem to be a lot. They seem to be a lot from one country, but I didn't pay for anything. But I'm very excited.
Okay. I did not know that. All right.
Yeah, you need to check our social media out a little bit more. All right. Anything else you want to say? I'm so thankful for you to be on the show as a guest. We always like to have new people on here and just shoot the shit and have some fun. We have topics we talk about too, but we usually don't. We leave those for before or after. So.
Well, no, just thanks for having me. I got the message. I was like, that's so cool. Yeah, I want to be on your podcast.
I honestly thought, because a lot of people. Well, not a lot of people. There's a few cosplayers we reached out to after talking to Leaping Liz, and I always give them too short a notice, and they never are able to. So I was like, Harley's not going to be able to do it, but let me ask. Let me throw it out there. Let me get something new in here for the guys, some burlesque, and go from there. And I was so appreciative that you are willing to and able to come on tonight. So thank you very much for showing up. And anytime you want to come on and promote a show or just talk, hell, I mean, I don't care if you want to join the show for just to talk about the topics. Let me know.
Oh, sweet. Absolutely.
All right. Harley Hellsing, thanks for joining the Usual Saints. We'll be right back with Jeremy and Mike D, which isn't as entertaining or nice to look at as Harley, but that's fine. We'll try to make you laugh.
For yourself.
You've been listening to Usual Saints. We'll be right back. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
That was fun.
Yeah. So we have a little fun. We shoot the shit. We I don't know. We've been doing this how long now, Jeremy? We did our first season 14 years ago, and we decided to restart last December during COVID. We were like, hey, let's get the band back together. But now one of the guys is out in the Bering Sea, and then the other one has some personal stuff going on. So whatever. But
well, it was still a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it.
Of course. Anytime.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah. And I'll get you if you want to share, once I edit it down, it'll be put out Sunday at 10 p.m. I'll have your interview on YouTube and on the podcast. I usually send out the Apple podcast, but everything will be on the website too. If anyone gets confused, I just always got them there. So I'll let you know.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I guess I'll just talk to you later then.
All right. Bye.
Have a good
night.
Bye.
Nice to meet you, Jeremy.
You too.
All right. Recording in progress.
Yeah, that's what it says.
I'm going to go back to eating these fries. They're cold now, though.
Whose fault is that? Heather's.
Yours. Oh,
Heather's.
okay. That's fine. I'll go with Heather.
So are you going to edit out the part where your computer went out and make it sound like it didn't happen?
No, I mean, I'm not going to do much editing, but I don't have like whatever you guys were saying when I was gone, unless you were recording. So
I assumed right away it was my internet, but then I saw her moving too. I'm like, oh, Mike just froze on us. All right.
Yeah, no, I thought it was the camera, but I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And so immediately an error message popped up. And I'm like, shit. And so I went right back in. But yeah, technical difficulties happen. Welcome back to the Usual Saints. I'll probably leave that in because, you know, whatever people like.
Sure, why not?
Don't you love getting an onion ring with your fries?
It used to happen every time I went to Burger King. It doesn't happen as often anymore. It's a little disappointing.
I mean, I just got two, man.
I don't think I want a whole thing of onion rings, but one in there works for me.
All right. So you want to cover some more topics? Did you add something to the list while we were sitting here?
No.
Oh, you deleted something. You deleted the deaths.
Yeah. Well,
we don't need it. You left the Olympics up. You're just gonna leave the Olympics on there until next year, right? When they're on again.
Yeah. Winter Olympics. We can talk about curling. I like curling. Curling's awesome. Anyway,
I'm more of a Mo guy.
For some reason, the biathlon, I don't know. I can watch that. Guys, skiing and then shooting. I don't understand why it entertains me, but it does. What?
I don't know how you can find anything they do entertaining. Oh, you said you like anything competitive.
Yeah, watching people compete. I don't even need the backstory most of the time, but just watching people compete is, pretty cool.
Backstory? Like what kind of backstory?
Yeah. And NBC plays up the backstory on everybody. She came from, her dad once had a splinter. It's all they just go wherever they can. It's kind of like America's Got Talent, where apparently NBC thinks you can't win unless you have some tragedy in your past. Hey, look, America's Got Talent right on NBC. Something bad has to have happened in your life for you to win in a competition on their channel. I don't know.
All right. Well, anyway, talk about your other shit on the top of the list. Most of it's yours. I mean, the bottom half is mine. What's the Rickroll milestone?
I've been trying. So, have you ever been Rickrolled?
Probably like 15 years ago.
So Rickrolled, for those who don't know, is when you click on a link and instead of taking you to, most likely the porn you were trying to get to, takes you to Rick Astley, right? Rick Astley, that's right. Singing
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna turn around and desert you. I think that's how it goes.
I was thinking forget you, but either way.
Oh.
That is reached 1 billion views on YouTube.
So the video itself, so the single video, because I'm sure there's plenty out there. There's more than one. I'm sure.
But the main one that people use as a Rickroll, it's reached 1 billion views, which I thought was pretty cool. I mean, how many people are on Earth, and how many times have people get sent to that video? I know I've been Rickrolled once or twice. I don't know why, but
where do you find this news? Like in Nerd Digest? Do you get an email every day, or is it a weekly?
No, this was on Reddit.
Oh, okay. Oh, Reddit. That's right. You're a big Reddit guy.
I like Reddit. Reddit's entertaining.
I go to Reddit for sometimes some technical help. No, not really. But Big Brother has not safe for work page, which is intriguing.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
But usually, like for the Christine Chubbuck death thing, like we talked about, go to Reddit for that. I know you're a big Reddit guy with that.
There's some good stuff to read and shit.
Yeah. Did you see about the penis snakes found in Florida?
I don't know what the hell a penis snake is. You have to explain this.
So it's some sort of worm that there's a few different species of. The closest one I think is in southern Mexico. It's basically like it's got really bad eyesight. So if you look at a picture of it, its eyes are like white or milky. They're really long. They're black. I think sometimes pink, but I mean, they probably resemble mostly a penis, or at least it's an easy thing to call, a penis. And so these things were found in a ditch near Miami, and they're non-native, they're invasive. But the good news is they only eat like some little animals, and so they can also be food for bigger animals. Although they've only found a few specimens so far, and they died. They couldn't keep it alive with the food they had. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Just another invasive species. They figured just like everything else that gets introduced to Florida, got released from a tank or cage, like the iguanas or Ron DeSantis, that kind of thing.
That was a stretch.
Oh, come on. That was fun.
That was a stretch.
I might use that as my cold open this week. I don't know.
That was bad.
Well, I
wouldn't be proud of that one if I were you. No.
Anytime I can bash Ron DeSantis, I'll take it.
I understand, but still, that one, that wasn't good.
So, I mean, I don't think you have to have an opinion on a penis snake based off what I told you. Any information or any thoughts on that?
I mean, it's invasive species in Florida is a big issue. I mean, the
Python.
Yeah, those freaking in the Everglades. I mean, that's just killing everything.
And they have those. You don't need a permit. They have like nope. I think you just go get them. I don't know what purpose they would serve besides snake skin. I guess some people eat snake. I've never done it. I don't think I want to. So
I believe they get a bounty for them. I think they pay them per snake, at least at certain times, just to go out and get as many as they can. But I mean, that's just something you're not going to be able to stop. They just reproduce so fast, and right. They can be in the water they're hard to find. I mean, I just don't see that ever working out. You're not going to get rid of them. You can try to keep their numbers down, but you're not getting rid of them.
What do you think about the change of topics, because you brought it up last week? What do you think about, because you brought up the CDC guidance and the changing, and how are you supposed to trust them? I don't understand. What do you think about Disney requiring masks in the indoor areas of their theme parks now?
Yeah, I was talking about that with my kid today. He said they went back to that. I'm not real sure what their justification is. I understand, hey, if you're in line or if you're near people, that makes sense. But why it's only inside and on transportation doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, if you're anywhere near someone, if you're going to wear a mask, it should be anytime you're near someone, not just when you're inside near someone. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm not real sure what the theory behind it is, because I don't know. I don't know the last time you went to Disney, but you can still be, packed in like sardines outside. So why? Doesn't make sense. Seems like it should be all or nothing. But
I mean, I wear my mask everywhere. Like tonight at the orientation, me and Heather were wearing our masks. We were few and far between. Like there were a handful of people with masks on. None of the.
That's because you didn't want to be recognized back at your high school.
That's true, but also because I believe in trying to stop the spread of and the catching of COVID. I don't want that shit again, even if I am double vaxxed. So yeah. I mean, what are you against them? What if it was throughout the park? Would that make more sense to you, and would you be for that?
Yeah, it would make more sense to me if you had to wear it. Like, I never understood why you had to wear it when you were on like the roller coasters. That didn't make sense to me, because I mean, if you're catching COVID while doing 40 miles an hour down a drop, really doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But okay. But I mean, at one time you had to wear it on the roller coasters. Now you can be just walking around next to people, face to face with people, standing in line, and not wearing it. It seems like kind of a half measure that wasn't really well thought out at all, in terms of, I mean, if you're gonna say, hey, you got to wear masks, then fucking wear masks. I don't get the, I would assume it's either, yep, you don't have to wear them, or hey, you can have to wear them unless you're sitting there eating or drinking. I mean, that seems to me like where the policy should have gone back to.
Yeah, hopefully it does, but we'll see. I think we're thinking about going to Disney next month.
I'm more curious to see stores. Which stores end up starting to say, hey, you got to wear them no matter what. Because again, there's no way to tell who's walking through that door, who's really vaccinated and who isn't, and whether the vaccination's really working or not. Saw Pfizer put out that I don't know if they put it out themselves or if it was just somebody else pointing out that they're going to strongly recommend a third dose of the Pfizer vaccine.
Yeah, but they're still doing the research on that. People are saying it's them just want to make money, but if it is scientifically proven to help people, even not with the emergency use authorization, that's why they're seeking the emergency use authorization for it. Even if it's just for elderly people or people with underlying conditions. I mean, I technically have underlying conditions. I mean, I'll get it if they release it for me. Anything I can to kind of help stop spreading it. Not that I have it now, but I want to protect people as much as I don't want to get it. I want to protect my family, but I also don't want everyone that I interact with. If I get it from someone that I interact with, I don't want to spread to anyone else. So the more I can do to stop this, I mean, because this thing in Florida is blowing up now, man. Again, the Delta variant. I don't know. I mean, Heather just told me that they're probably shutting down the elective procedures at the hospital. And so, I mean, that's where we're going back to. We're slipping backwards, and especially with the mindset of Florida, and its governor. Sophie's going to school, starting high school in the fall. I think she's going to wear a mask. I don't know that I'm going to make her wear a mask because I don't want her to feel weird, because I'm sure there's going to be some asshole kids pointing that out, even though they're not supposed to, and it's supposed to be against all kind of policies, and they're going to get in trouble for it. But I mean, how do you protect your kids from this kind of shit when there's a bunch of idiots out there that aren't vaccinated and are just possibly spreading the disease?
I don't know that you can. I mean, because they could get in trouble, but that's only if somebody overhears them or your kid is willing to go to the teacher and say, hey, these fuckers are giving me a hard time for wearing my mask.
Oh, I'm going to be ratting those motherfuckers out. If Sophie tells me about that shit, I'm going to demand names and birth dates, and I'm going to go to the office and I'm going to whoop their ass with this belt.
Why are you getting naked?
I'm not getting naked. I ate. It's after dinner. I'm Al Bundy. I got to put one hand down the pants,
You certainly know Al Bundy.
Oh, thank you.
You never scored 4 touchdowns in one game.
Polk High.
That's right.
Class of what, 70 something?
I don't know.
Do you? I don't think you do, because I don't think you watch Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. But did you hear about Bob Odenkirk?
I did hear about it. Yeah, I don't know. Didn't he just do almost
Nobody
an action movie?
Nobody.
Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, they're not. Listen, I get it's his personal information, and I don't know if it's his choice or AMC's choice. There's not a lot of statements coming out. The only statement that I saw was that it's a heart-related issue, and that's it. They're not saying it was a heart attack. They're not saying anything else. But it sounded really scary as shit when it was first released. Like TMZ was saying that he collapsed on set, and I didn't say if he was responsive or unresponsive. And yeah, they shoot in New Mexico, so it's hot as fuck, I'm sure. So that could have played into it. But then they talk about the heart-related issue. So, I mean, he's one of his character on those shows is just great. I ain't get to see Nobody. I hear great things about it. I want to see that. But I mean, I hope it's not too serious. I selfishly want him to finish off the series, but I also want to see him in other things that he has to do after the series, and so I hope his health improves. That's all.
Yeah. You got anything else you want to talk about today?
I mean, the Tucker Carlson thing is kind of funny, but I don't know what you have to say about it. Did you see that?
I saw you posted it. I didn't see the video at all.
This guy has his kid with him in I think a retail store or some kind of mom and pop store in Montana. I guess Tucker Carlson owns a place up there, goes fishing up there, some shit. And this guy, listen, I know Montana. I think Montana had a Democratic governor recently, but whatever. They have some liberals up there, which is great, or people who I don't want to call the guy liberal. I don't want to say that I was going to say I don't want to slander him because I thought you get a kick out of that. But I don't know that the guy is. I think maybe the guy just thinks that Tucker Carlson is a prick and, the worst piece of human shit. And, whatever he called him exactly, I don't have it in front of me. But I think it's great that he gets called out. And Tucker Carlson couldn't really respond beyond, I think he said do you want to say that in front of your kid or something like that? If I was the guy, I would have been like, yeah, Sophie, you want to come over here and say some shit to Tucker Carlson?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
Oh.
I would somewhat I don't think anybody should be kind of attacked when they're out in their private time, but that's up to them.
He's a public figure, though, man. He puts his gross opinion out on national TV every night. So why can't someone talk to him
When he's in his walking around shopping? You want to be verbally attacking him? That's okay with you?
I'm Tucker Carlson. Yeah, I'm okay with it. Did you see the America First people get chased off by the protesters the other day? They were in front of the Department of Justice. So it's Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene and a bunch of other guys, Louis Gohmert or whatever, those guys. No. And there's a guy blowing a whistle the entire time under a mask. So right near these journalists. So all these journalists are yelling at him. I don't know if they're Fox News or Newsmax or just I say regular. I know that's probably offensive to some people, but regular, local news is what I mean. Journalists, they were getting upset with this guy blowing the whistle right in their ears, but it was effective. They stopped. So it annoyed everyone to the point where some people with some signs that said something like traitors and rapists and stuff got behind the podium. So everyone who was recording, all the news people had to film the signs. And so they wound up ending the news conference and sweeping Marjorie Taylor Greene off the wherever she was in front of the podium, saying we gotta go, and then you hear one of her aides say the liberal agenda did this or something to the news cameras, see what these liberals are doing. And then you see one lady chasing Matt Gaetz going, are you a pedophile? Are you a pedophile? Are you a pedophile? And she literally just keeps saying it until he gets in the car. She follows him all the way to the car. It was fun. I enjoyed watching that video. Oh, listen, Matt Gaetz, I'm waiting for that shoe to drop. I'm sorry. That's the biggest tease. You want to talk about burlesque dancing and the art of the tease? Fuck, man. You telling me that he's being investigated by the FBI? He really said it. The FBI doesn't say any shit about that. And it's the other shoe has to drop at some point. Otherwise, that's going to be the biggest tease in the history of news, I think. Jeremy, this is why I brought you on the show, because I love when you talk and give me your opinion.
I got nothing. Can't help you. Got nothing.
Whatever. I think I'm pretty much done for the week. I'm tired, but
you're ugly too, but
oh, thanks. So let's see. Next week we have me and you show again.
Yeah. I bet you we're going to have some conversation about how Vinny's going to show up for this show, or showed up for this show, or might have shown up for this show, and he didn't.
I never promised anything. I think maybe we'll talk about Ted Lasso and Big Brother and do some stuff like that.
Yeah, well, Big Brother from a week and a half ago, or at that point,
That's because you still haven't caught up. Have you caught up?
I watched half of last night's episode tonight before I had to get on this.
Okay, so you haven't seen the veto?
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the end of it. No.
Did I see the veto? Oh yeah, I saw the veto. Okay, so you know who was nominated? What do you think? This is weird because we're talking about more recently than next week. That's right. About. What do you think about what's going on in the House now? We got to touch on this every week since me and you are the Big Brother guys.
It seems like everyone but two people are in these alliances. It's eventually they got to do something. It's going to get pretty boring pretty quick.
Yeah, they're going to cannibalize themselves, but I think the cookout will get that kings, queens, and aces. Oh, royal flush is what they call it. The cookout will get that eventually, but we'll see if the cookout can hold together. There's 5 of them, unless anyone else gets wise to it. If they're slick enough about it, I think Azza or Azza is the weak link there because she gets so emotional about putting Brittany up a second time.
Not sure. You don't want to lose a second member of your team in 2 weeks to go, and she doesn't realize that half of the house is, in another alliance that she's not a part of.
Yeah, and I don't know because obviously they don't show all the footage. I wonder if Xavier or Xavier, I don't know what I've heard different people say it different ways. Did he? Xander. It's definitely Xavier. It's not Xander. You racist. So
How is not knowing his name racist?
Because you don't know the black guy's name. What's the girl you think is cute? His name?
Alyssa.
Oh, okay.
Sarah
I think that's right. No,
Or
you think
Sarah
Alyssa. You're back on. You're on Sarah Beth's train
Oh
now.
no, I said both. If you remember, you go listen to it next week. You'll hear.
Are you Team Chrysalis?
Oh, I don't care. It's laying in the guy's bed making out. That was a little weird.
Yeah, I know. He came in. He's like, "Why you gotta do it in my bed?"
That's right. I mean, it's not like they were having sex or anything, but damn, come on.
We should go watch it. Yeah, you want to put it on right now? I'll put it on the website. We can watch it live.
That's all right.
I don't think we can do that. I think we get taken down.
They'll get a cease and desist pretty quickly.
All right. So the next time we actually record an episode will be deep in August. It'll be after MegaCon. So I'll see you after MegaCon.
Yeah, enjoy yourself.
Hopefully you fucking show up. Are you really working that entire time? You can't just show up for one day, motherfucker.
No, I'm working.
Okay, you're gonna take a picture and show it to me? The schedule?
Oh.
So you're lying.
I'm not. I don't have a paper schedule. What the fuck?
What? Who doesn't have paper schedules?
My schedule just rotates. There's not a lot of change to it.
All right. Well, I appreciate everyone listening to The Usual Saints. Hope you enjoy the interview with Harley Hellsing. Go support.
You said everyone. You said appreciate how you, Heather.
I hope you enjoyed the interview with Harley Hellsing. Go follow her on Instagram at Harley Hellsing. She's on Facebook. What is that? Harley Hellsing as well. And then I know on Twitter,
TikTok.
She said TikTok for real?
Yeah, she didn't even say Facebook. She said Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all the same name. I think she said.
She has a Facebook page. The Twitter name, that's why I didn't want to correct her because I wasn't sure. I think her Twitter name has an underscore in between the two words because I found it and tagged her on there, but that's fine. But definitely go support her at her show, House on Church, Tuesday. I'm sorry.
No.
Wait, what day is August 5th?
5th.
Thursday.
Thursday. The 5th is
it's Thursday.
Okay. Sure.
It's Thursday, August 5th. House on Church, 9 p.m. Go support Harley and her troupe. It's a fun time. Like, you'll leave there with a smile on your face. And it's not, I think a lot of people are kind of prudish and think it's like all about sexualization. Listen, there is an aspect to that, but it's true. They don't show anything. Yes, there is a lot of skin usually, but it's fun to see. And it's fun to see. I think the biggest kick I get out of it is seeing how comfortable these people are at doing something they love and the joy it brings to them, like the applause after each dancer, after each performance. I think that's probably my favorite thing. And, as much as you might want to joke about me wanting to go see girl strip or guy strip or whoever strip, I think it really makes me happy to see people get joy, Jeremy. I'm very empathetic.
I wasn't listening.
You motherfucker. Follow us on The Usual Saints, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. What else do we do? Oh, the website, theusualsaints.com. You can email us at usualsaints@gmail.com or just go to the website and find every way to contact us. Call us 240-724-6877. And when we come back, maybe we'll have some message from Saint if he ever fucking sends us something so we can play it. And who knows? I don't expect Vinny to come back anytime soon, but maybe not. Maybe he can record a message like Saint. He could be like, "Hey guys, Saint, it's your boy. It's your boy Vinny from the middle of Atlanta. I'm not on a boat, but
maybe you can join us from Home Depot again."
Wasn't he on the toilet that time? Remember that?
Yeah. And he was at Home Depot one time.
Yeah, but that didn't work out. I think it was one time at Walmart.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks again, Harley Hellsing, for coming on, and we'll see what we come up with next time for you on The Usual Saints. Thanks for listening.
I'm not saying it. He didn't show up. It's not my. No, you can say it.
What do you mean? You said it's your thing. Literally at the end of next week's episode, you say, "That's my thing."
No, it's yours. Come on, say it.
I'm not saying
Do it. Do it.
Later.
It's not. Come on, do it. All right, man.
Okay, bye.
How'd orientation go?